Hey there guys, it's me Sarah from Sarah's Soul Search, and I'm really sorry for my appearance right now because I'm not wearing any makeup and I'm not really sure what my hair is trying to do. I think it's trying to be curly, but only in certain parts. So it's straight on the top and curly underneath right now, which is really weird. But anyway, I'm here not to talk about my hair, but about how I can help you learn Korean. And I've been here for about 7 months now, which is crazy. Like, I can't believe how fast it's all gone by. But I'd say my Korean is getting to a pretty good level. I'm actually really happy with my progress so far. There are still times when I don't quite catch a word or I need something to be repeated, but for the most part I can have almost anything explained to me in Korean, and I don't really use English at all anymore. Like, even if someone speaks to me in English, I always talk back to them in Korean, because I'm here to learn Korean, I'm not here to teach English, so I'm not going to encourage people to talk to me in English. But anyway, so before I got here, I studied Korean for about 2 years-ish, or at least that's what I told people. I'm not sure what I was actually doing when I thought I was studying, but when I got here, I figured out that I actually knew a lot less than I thought I did. I learned how to read Hangul like forever ago. I think after 8th grade I learned how to read Hangul, and that was really easy. You can learn that really easily. And I also studied grammar through Talk to Me in Korean. I think I got up to level 5, and so I knew a lot of grammar, but I didn't know a lot of vocabulary, and since I didn't have any opportunities to use my Korean in actual conversations, my listening was not very good when I got here. So basically, when I got here, I couldn't understand anything that was going on around me. Which gave people the impression that I understood more than I did because I was able to say a lot, but I wasn't able. But in fact, I actually wasn't able to understand a lot of what people were saying. To give you an idea of where I was when I got here, the first words that I said to a Korean ever after getting here were the words "제 이름이 뭐예요?" which translates to "What is my name?" Not your name, my name. So poor guy just looked at me like, I don't know. And I was like, what did I do? And then I realized my mistake. Carol was laughing at me. I was like, it's not funny. But now I look back and it's actually really funny. And the guy and I are pretty good friends now, so it's all good. But man, that was so embarrassing. So to prevent mistakes like that, try to have as many conversations in Korean as you can before you get here. And a really good website for that is called ShareTalk, and it's run by Rosetta Stone, but you don't have to buy Rosetta Stone to sign up for it. And what's really good about it is you don't have to give people your Skype ID or your email address to have a conversation with them. And I think that's really convenient because you don't always want to be giving away that information to strangers online. So you can just have a conversation with them in the website, and you don't actually have to give them your contact information so they can't stalk you afterwards, which is a big plus. That's one really good website. And I actually didn't use it before I got here, but I've used it once or twice for Spanish because I took Spanish in high school, and I really want to maintain my Spanish. I don't want to forget it all. But yeah, so that's a really good website, and there are usually quite a few Koreans online looking to practice with an English-speaking partner. So that's really good for you. If you speak fluent English, then you'll be able to trade off and help them with their English, and they can help you with your Korean. I did not watch a lot of dramas before I got here. I watched Boys Over Flowers because it was on Netflix and I was bored, so I wanted to see what all the hype was about because I see references and stuff online all the time. And it was pretty good, but then I tried watching another drama and it seemed almost exactly the same. And then I tried watching another one and it also seemed exactly the same. So I made the false conclusion that all K-dramas were annoying and similar, so I didn't watch any more after that. But I'm not really a TV person anyway, so that probably had a lot to do with it. Like, I don't have the patience to watch 83 episodes of the same people following the same patterns. Like, I can barely sit still for a 2-hour-long movie. Okay, I have ADHD. I can't. Look, seriously, I have ADHD. So I really don't like having to watch watch a really long drama, something like that. But I know Carol did watch a lot of dramas, and her listening was a lot better than mine when she got here, so that might be a good idea. But I do not recommend that you rely solely on dramas to raise your Korean level, because truth be told, if you want to learn a language, you're going to have to study it, like actually study it. That's just a fact. So a really good book if you want to study Korean, called A Handbook of Korean Vocabulary by Miho Chu, and I love this book. I got it from someone after I got here. A nice Canadian lady let me borrow it from her, and it has been very useful, because the way they organize the words is not by alphabetical order, it's by Chinese root, because as you can see, it goes there. Over 60% of Korean vocabulary is derived from Chinese, so this book makes it possible to learn a lot of words with the same roots, and it also really helped me to be able to recognize words that I don't already know by their roots. So that has been really useful to me. And I think you can get this on Amazon, or there might even be an ebook version of it, I don't know. The same lady wrote a book called Korean in Use, which I have found to be extremely useful. I love that book, and it's a great companion to this one because it teaches you a lot of grammatical structures and stuff like that. And it really helped me to improve my writing and my speaking grammatical skills. So I highly recommend any book by Miho Chu. She's awesome. That person is awesome, and the books that they make for Korean is amazing. The books that they make for Korean are amazing. What am I doing? I'm forgetting English. And the way that I'll study the vocabulary that I learned from that book is by writing it down in this handy little book. It's Korean on the cover. So at the top of a list, I would write down the Chinese character and the root of the word, and I would write down the words that I thought were the most useful. Another really good resource for vocabulary is the website KoreanWikiProject.com, and there are tons of word lists on there that you can use. Another great website is called TopicGuide.com, and they have words listed by their difficulty and which topic tests they're most often used on. And I found that website to be really useful because it has a lot of words that you're going to use immediately once you learn them. So that's a really great website. My favorite way of memorizing all this vocabulary is by first writing it down in a list like so, and then I'll look up the definitions, and then I'll make a mnemonic for every single word that I learn. And as tedious as this sounds, it's actually really helpful. I find that I remember words a lot better, and then when I forget them, I learn them again much easier. So I write them down, I get the definitions, I make a mnemonic, and then I make the list into flashcards on StudyBlue. And usually after making all the mnemonics and everything, I can memorize them really easily on StudyBlue. And after a while, you don't even think about the mnemonic that you made, you just know what the word is. An example of one of the words that I made a mnemonic for, and the way that I remember that word is by breaking it up. Like the word sasil means fact, so sil in silsuhada is fact, and then su is so bad that someone could sue. So the fact is, it's so bad that people could sue. Silsuhada. And I know that sounds really time-consuming and difficult to remember, but when you make a mnemonic yourself and you get into the habit of thinking in this way when you're trying to remember vocabulary, it's really not as difficult as it sounds. So don't worry about it. If you put a little practice into it, then I'm sure you'll be fine. So I'm going to go back to something that I mentioned a little earlier, which is the website called StudyBlue.com. And if you haven't clicked on the link that I put there, then I highly suggest you do, because it's a really great website where you can make your own flashcards and put them online. And the website tracks your progress, and you can organize the cards by which ones are most difficult to you, or the ones you might not have studied as much. It gives you a percentage of all the flashcards that you know really well, the ones you don't know that well. So I love this website. I used it all the time at my old high school for learning basically anything. And you can learn it for Korean, you can use it for Korean as well. And you can access all my flashcards by clicking the link below. Just click it here. And the link is also on my homepage on my YouTube channel. And there are also a lot of other really helpful links on that page, so go check it out. Another good website for practicing kind of colloquial Korean in a fun way is called Naver Webtoon. And people in Korea use this website all the time. You can get an app on your phone. And you can read manhwa, which is like Korean manga, in Korean, obviously. And it's a really good way for learning speech patterns without actually having to listen to them first. That way you can see how they're spelled and how they're supposed to be said, because there are always going to be times when you mishear things. So I found that to be really useful, for especially learning like slang expressions and a lot more spoken Korean that you can use around your friends. So that's an awesome resource, and it's free, so why not check it out. To give you an idea of where I'm at with my Korean right now, I'm reading this book called Life of Pi, or Pi Yagi in Korean. And when I'm reading something in Korean, instead of stopping and writing down the definition, instead of stopping and looking up every single word that I don't know as I come across it, I try to just keep reading and see if I can figure out the word from context. And if I see it multiple times and I still don't know what it means, then I'll look it up just by looking at the context clues. And I also use this on all my textbooks in class. Like, I'll try to read along, but since it's a lot more technical vocabulary, I often have a harder time. But I'll underline words that I don't know, but I won't write the definition right on top of it or right next to it, because if I go back to read it again, then I'm not really going to be looking at the Korean version, I'll look at the English version. And that's not very conducive to learning. So instead, I'll make a list in the margin of all the words that I don't know and their definitions. And when I go back and try to read the passage again, I'll put my hand over it. And if I really still don't know a word, then I'll look at it again. But and then I also make those lists on the margins into flashcards later. So, and like I said, you can access those on StudyBlue if you want to see them. So hopefully I was able to help you today and introduce you to some Korean learning resources that you might have not known about before you watch this video. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, just leave me a comment or send me a PM or an email or follow me on Instagram for all the latest updates. All the links that I provided are also in the description of this video, so if for some reason it didn't work, then you can always check there or copy the hyperlink into your little bar thing at the top of your browser. It's up here. You know what I'm talking about. But yeah, so I hope you all are having a lovely day, and maybe we'll be able to talk again soon, perhaps in Korean. So if you want to leave a comment in Korean, then that's totally fine too. So as they say in Korea, 나중에 보자, 안녕!